I went to go and watch them, and then they played in this another Superliga game, and they lost, right? So they were still on 26 points. So I went to go and see them on the 23rd of November in 2025. This is a derby, right? Brøndby, I think, were second.
Yeah.
They could have gone top. And Copenhagen were fourth, I think, at the time. And with them winning, they would have gone third and within, I think, 2 points of Brøndby or 1 point of Brøndby. So went and watched them. They won 1-0 as a penalty. Thought, that's a good result. They're going to be up there, getting back into a good, the top two sort of like performance. Now, since this game, I went to watch them. They played if we ignore the Champions League matches, right? They lost after this to AGF, who I think at the time were top. I think I might be wrong on that, but they lost to AGF, right? Then they lost to Sonders Jiski. Then they played in the Champions League and won. Then they played in their Parken Cup and won. And then they had a break, right? So they obviously had the break because of the cold weather. So they have a couple of friendlies. They have these friendlies, and they draw both of them. They come back to the Champions League. They draw against Napoli, which is a good result, right, against Napoli. And then they have another club
good result,
that they win in. And then they get smashed by Barcelona, and then they have another club friendly against the team in the Superliga that's like performing really well. And then they go back to the Superliga on the 8th of February. They lose 2-1. They then win in the Parken Cup. They then lose 2-1 again.
To Midtjylland.
They then draw. They then
lose again 2-1.
Then win in the Parken Cup, right? But then they get, because of that loss before, they're then in the relegation group.
They lost 2-1 again.
Since going to the relegation group, they lost 2-1. And then they lost 2-1 again. Since I've seen them,
God, what is with 2-1?
Won a Superliga game.
That's like 4 league games they've lost 2-1 as well.
They have lost.
That's terrible.
So the
league's only got 12 teams.
So I may have got this wrong, but they've got, since I've seen them, they've got 1 point, I think. I think they had a draw. So actually, I think they went up to I think they must have been on 28 actually and got up to 29.
Yeah.
Since I've seen them, they've not won a match, right? When they've gone into the relegation,
29 points now.
They've not won a match. If you go and look at their table now, this is their relegation group. They still have the same amount of points from when they was in Super League, not the relegation group. These points back in November were enough to make them third in the table, and they've not done anything since that moment in time.
Jesus.
But I will say they're 6 points off of Silkeborg.
That's crazy.
So that's kind of handy. But Silkeborg are playing them next. So if Silkeborg win, then honestly, I don't know if I've got like some sort of like bad omens on teams. Since I've gone to see them, they have been utter rubbish. And they're in some real danger.
They would never. Maybe you have to go back and see them again. Go back and see them again, and then maybe their luck changes. Lift a curse. They might lose 2-1, but you might have lift a curse for the next game. They win 4-0, 4-0, 4-0.
Or they'll start winning 2-1. Who knows?
What is with the 2-1s? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Look at home table. So how are they done at home? They would be 9th of the table with their home form. Away form, they would be 4th in the away form. So they don't like playing at home. So it's quite literally you cursed Copenhagen.
Not only did I curse them,
I think to their home ground.
I saw an anomaly in them, and then them actually winning at home. But yeah, but then if you look at the team that's like struggling in the relegation group of the Superliga, they are in the final for their domestic cup.
What against
Midtjylland? Is it
Midtjylland? Yeah.
And so then if you look at Midtjylland, they are obviously in the.
They're second in the table at the moment.
Second in the table, I think, isn't it? Something like that. Yeah. 5 points off. But AGF were dominating.
AEG though.
Huh?
You think the 3 teams of that league. They're the 3 teams: Midtjylland, Brøndby, and Copenhagen that blitz it every year.
So I watched Brøndby play, and since then, in the Superliga, like they have had a terrible time too. Like they've drawn, lost, drawn. Brøndby haven't won since I've seen Brøndby play as well.
For fuck's sake.
So the two teams that I've
Oh my
seen
God.
play football in Copenhagen have not won since I've seen them. But the Brøndby were like challenging for the league with AGF around the time I went to see
Yeah,
them.
yeah,
It was
they
only
would
like
do
one
it.
or two. I think if they'd beaten Copenhagen at that time, they would have gone top. Absolutely mental.
Right.
But yeah,
So when was the last time you saw Arsenal? Did you go and see them before the end of the season?
last time I saw Arsenal, we won 3-0, and we have won since
When was
then.
this, though? But when was this?
February, beginning of February.
Oh, that's disappointing. So you didn't bring the curse over?
No, it just seems to be with Danish team.
Danish teams.
Yeah.
so we need to do a off the footy petition for you to go see AGF for Copenhagen fans.
Well, no, I need to go and see Silkeborg.